Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Let's recap yesterday real quick because we stay honest around here. Yesterday's lock of the day was Frankie Montas over 5.0 strikeouts. I think he went through 2 innings without a strikeout, ended up throwing over 100 pitches, got 2 strikeouts right before he got pulled. He ended up finishing with 4. Got like no strikeouts to like the first 4 innings. Brutal there from Frankie Montas. David Peterson did go over for us. He got 7 exactly to go over. And then Corey Seager. This is my kind of luck that I'm talking about sometimes. This dude finished with 3 bases yesterday. We took his under 1.5 bases. He hadn't gone over 2 bases. He had done it only 2 times in the last 15 games. Dude was batting .97 in the month of September. The one game that I would take it, he would get 2 hits in a game, and he'd get 3 bases. He hasn't gotten over 3 bases in 15 games. The one game I would take him would be the game that he would go over. So he ended up getting 3 bases. Corey Seager did yesterday for us. So that was dumb. I mean, that's as dumb as it gets. Wasn't even going to mess around with baseball today. I'm going to actually use today as a NFL day. I am going to post tomorrow's picks today, so they have a little bit more time for you guys to circulate, for you guys to look at them. Wasn't even going to try to mess around with baseball today. I'm just going to save the units and go ahead and put them all tomorrow on NFL Sunday. So let's go ahead and get into it. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy, because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits, like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. It just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50, you get an extra $50, $20, you get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming in with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's picks. All right, man, tomorrow's lock of the day. Had a lot to choose from. Really was just, picking and choosing. It was really flipping a coin on who I wanted to be the lock of the day for tomorrow. I'm loving absolutely everybody that I have on the slate, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with Derrick King Henry over 99.5 yards rushing tomorrow, simply because of the team he's taking on. Tomorrow, the Tennessee Titans are taking on the New York Giants. The New York Giants' overwhelming, massive weakness is their defensive front. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that some rookie named Kayvon Thibodeau is going to come in and take a defense that was ranked 8th against the rush last year, 8th worst against the run last year. Don't think that just because they're adding him, they're going to magically become better. They're not. Derrick Henry is still the best running back running the football in the league. As far as running the ball, he's not the best back, I don't think, right? But he's the best at running the football. In 2018, he took on this New York Giants team who really, let's be honest, in 2018 hasn't gotten any better, hasn't really added anything to that defensive front and those linebackers. Derrick Henry ran for 170 yards on him last time. It's probably going to be a whole lot of the same thing today or tomorrow. He's going to run for a whole lot they're going to give him the ball that whole game. This defensive front has got nothing. He's going to have no answer for him. Give me Derrick Henry easily to go over 100 yards rushing tomorrow versus the New York Giants as our lock of the day. Next up, we'll head to the South. We're going to go with Jameis Winston over 1.5 touchdowns tomorrow. He has played Atlanta 9 times in his career, and he is averaging 2.8 touchdowns. So almost literally averaging 3 touchdowns a game versus this Atlanta team. In those 9 games, he's only gone under 2 passing touchdowns 2 times out of those 9 games. And Atlanta's massive weakness is their secondary. Outside of A.J. Terrell, it drops off and it gets really bad. Their pass rush really, is not elite. Even though the Saints' offensive line's it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's average. So, an average offensive line versus a pretty weak pass rush with the combination of a really bad secondary. It looks like like a really good opportunity to go for Jameis Winston over 1.5 touchdowns. Got a lot of weapons. As far as I know, I think Michael Thomas is playing. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, they're all playing. So he's got a lot of weapons to throw to. Alvin Kamara, of course, is playing too. He's a good threat out of the backfield. Jameis Winston should easily go over 1.5 touchdowns tomorrow versus a very bad Atlanta team defensively. So give me Jameis Winston over 1.5 touchdowns. Going to be the same story here. The theme of this slip is definitely going to be picking on some bad defenses. Give me Lamar Jackson over 23.75 fantasy points for tomorrow. I don't understand why people are thinking the Jets are going to be good this year just because they added a bunch of rookies. If a team is still bad, the team doesn't have veteran leadership, they're still a bad team, they're still a badly run organization. Just because you add rookies to it doesn't mean their team's going to be better. I get it. They added Sauce Gardner. Can Sauce Gardner guard every single guy on the team? No, he can only guard one player. So Sauce Gardner is not going to make an impact on this team at all defensively. They're still a really bad team defensively. Have no pass rush, have no secondary, really have no linebackers outside of C.J. Mosley. The Jets are going to get absolutely torched tomorrow by the Ravens, and especially by Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he's going to make a statement tomorrow. You know, there's been all this talk. You know, Lamar Jackson, this contract situation. Lamar Jackson's not a top 10 quarterback because he hasn't played in a while. He's injury prone because he missed 5 games last year. He's going to absolutely go out there and just destroy it. You know, I know Lamar Jackson deep down, all this talk in the offseason has really been about his contract, really been about how he's not an elite quarterback, how he's not getting the bag like these other guys. He's going to go out there and absolutely ball out. He's going to torch them. Last time he played this Jets team, he threw 5 touchdown passes and had 37 fantasy points. He's going to absolutely cook him tomorrow. So give me Lamar Jackson over 23.75 fantasy points for our third play. Next up, give me Jonathan Taylor, man. He's going to be taking on the Houston Texans, who I think it's pretty safe to say have the worst all-around defense. They don't have any backers. They don't have any pass rush. They don't have anyone in the secondary. Again, adding Derek Singletary is not going to make them overwhelmingly better. So give me Jonathan Taylor over 100 yards rushing or 100.5 yards rushing tomorrow. Highest propped running back on the weekend. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense. He is taking on the Houston Texans in his career 4 times. He's averaging 115 yards a game. And last year, obviously, when he started getting into form, really torched them. He had 145 yards rushing and 143 yards rushing. Should absolutely stomp and crush this 100.5 yards rushing. If not anything, they get up early in this game, passing the ball, and then they just start running the ball a whole lot with Jonathan Taylor. So give me Jonathan Taylher easily over 100.5 yards rushing tomorrow. And lastly, you guys know I've been talking highly about this team all offseason. Give me Justin Jefferson over 83.5 receiving yards. Highest rated prop wide receiver for week 1 at 83 yards receiving. I guess Cooper Kupp was, because Cooper Kupp was at 95. Excuse me. Second highest rated rookie or wide receiver prop for week 1 behind Cooper Kupp. You guys know the big thing I've been talking about with the Vikings is the offensive coordinator of the LA Rams from a year ago is now the head coach of this team. He is going to use Justin Jefferson exactly how he used Cooper Kupp a year ago. He's taking on the Packers, who he hasn't had massive success in his recent history in his 4 games versus the Packers. He had one huge game where he had like 160 yards, had a massive game. But outside of that, he's really had some struggles against the Packers because of a guy named Jair Alexander who will not be playing tomorrow. So I have a feeling he's going to have a bigger game. Cooper Kupp's first game last year was Sean McConnell as the offensive coordinator. He had 7 catches for 110 yards versus the Bears. I think today Justin Jefferson will easily get 100 yards receiving. Have a pretty big game in this first matchup, especially without Jair Alexander out there for the Packers. He's easily one of the best corners in the league and definitely their best corner. So give me Justin Jefferson to have a massive game today, over 83.5 yards receiving. Should be an easy lock for us. All right, so that means it's time for our perfect 5 slip and our perfect 3 slip. Give me the lock of the day, which is Derrick Henry over 99.5 yards rushing. Give me Jameis Winston over 1.5 touchdowns, and give me Jonathan Taylor over 100.5 yards rushing is the 3 slip. And moving over to our 5 slip, it will be the perfect 3 slip of Jameis, Jonathan Taylor, and Derrick Henry. Just add Justin Jefferson over 83.5 yards receiving, and add Lamar Jackson over 23.75 fantasy points for the perfect 5 slip for our first NFL Sunday for this upcoming week. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Real quick, I wanted to remind you guys, I'll throw it up right here, Battle Royale. Do not forget about using these fantasy drafts that they have on Underdog Fantasy there. I hit on a couple of them last year. These Battle Royale ones are huge. Obviously, first place gets $40,000, and the prize pool goes down and down and lower it gets. If you tie with people, they split it up even more, and then you get the prizes from that. This is huge. You know, you get to play weekly fantasy football. No season-long commitment to players, just whoever's playing that week, and you can throw them in, and you just they have all kinds of these. This is a full season one, I think it is, for the mini double, but they have these for every single game. The Monday night games, the Sunday night games, they also have them. So don't forget to take advantage of these drafts as well when you're using Underdog Fantasy this year. But with that being said, guys, let's get the season rolling right. I know Thursday was brutal, but I have a feeling we'll be cashing out big on Sunday. So let's get it popping for this season. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.